Where's Fielder? He's gone to the dogs.
Folks, I'm Steve Fielder, your host for the Gone to the Dogs podcast. And, man, I tell you what, I am excited about the podcast today. News across the nation. Laughing used to say, we have the news across the nation. Well, folks, I've got it. And I've got the newsmakers, and I've got the movers and shakers on the show today. And I'm just so happy to have been able to capture these three guys. All of them are busy, and they've just been very gracious to spend some time with me. From Roland, North Carolina, we're happy to have Mr. Ashley Oxendine. How are you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing good, Mr. Steve.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Great to have you on the show. And also your buddy, your compadre there, a name that shows up a lot of times when your name is, we see your name in print in these Coonhound results and news and so forth, from Springfield, Kentucky. A name that everybody, I think, in the sport knows very well, John Strickland. How you doing, John?
How you doing, Mr. Fielder?
I'm always good. I'm just envious of you boys' youth and vigor. But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. And a guy that has become family to me, and I get up his way just as often as I can, and got a trip coming up here just in a few days from Kittanning, Pennsylvania, Mr. Lone Pine, Randy Smith. How you doing, Randy?
Great, brother. How about you?
I'm good. Man, I am just so excited, literally, to have all you guys together in a bunch. And we've tried to get Doug Galbraith on the phone today, and we've been unsuccessful so far, but hopefully he'll be joining us later. Of course, the subject on everybody's lips in the Coonhound world right now, and everybody's phones lit up and all talking about Willy's little Ann. What an amazing little walker female, and what an amazing run. But before we get into all that and start peeling back the layers a little bit, I'd like to know, just for my own sake, how did we form this partnership, this Oxendine, Strickland, Galbraith, and Smith? Sounds like Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. You see it so much in the news. How does this all start? Who wants to jump in there?
Go ahead, Ashley.
John, back in 18, I think when I bought Country, I had a phone number come across my phone, Springfield, Kentucky. And he said, I'm John Strickland. I heard you bought a blue dog. It's pretty good. And we was talking, and Cressa, my fiance, was there in the bed. And John said, she was like laying in my arm. John said, can he be bought? I said, nah. John said, I know what you paid for. I'm willing to, make a generous offer and you make some money. And I was sitting there like, please don't say, I didn't want my fiance to hear what I paid for Country. I said, I don't know who this idiot is, but I hope he gets off his phone. And I said, can I call you back tomorrow? And John said, yeah. But long story short, we that's how it all started, was a Country. And then, John I didn't want to sell all of him, and he said, well, I'll buy half of him. And that's how our journey started, was with Country.
Big Country. Who can forget the big blue dog that just kind of shouldered in and all the walker dogs in the world and said, yeah, looky here, huh? I'm big, yeah. I'm loud, I'm proud. What do you say, John?
I'd say you're spot on there, buddy. I promise you.
Yeah, well, you were always a blue tick man in my mind, because the first time I met you, you were hunting old Knothead, I think.
Yep. I always got a soft place in the heart for blue dogs. I don't know. I like them. I like black trucks and blue ticks.
Black trucks. All right. Well,
and of course, blonde-headed women.
There you go for Suzanne, if she's listening.
Yeah.
I doubt that she's that bored, but she might be. All right. Well, then, Doug is a fellow I don't know very well, except just to speak to him at the events. Very very nice fella, and seems like a great guy. I don't know too much about Doug. I was hoping that we could get him in tonight too. Let the folks learn a little bit more about him, but maybe he'll come in. Does anybody want to volunteer anything about Doug?
John, tell him about Doug. How
Doug was.
hunting.
Go ahead.
Who?
Go ahead, Ashley.
Tell him how when we started hunting country, we when me and John would go to Savannah, we'd leave the dogs at Doug's house, right?
Okay.
And Doug had a little pen, and we would go get him. He'd ride with us, and we started. When John started winning with country big time, he come out one night. He said, "Hey," John said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'm done riding." He said, "I'm going to be a part of this." He said,
Okay. Well, I imagine he made you guys a pretty good offer to get in on that dog. So
He didn't get nothing. He just got in.
he just got in, huh? Said, "Open the door. I'm in."
Yeah, he never paid no money on country. He just got in. So what the hell?
Now, easy, John. Easy, John.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, now it's going to be Smith's turn. This might be
Let's
bad.
hear this part, Randy.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of know.
That's how it's supposed to go. You can't put price on friendship.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's rich right there. Well, I kind of know how Smith and Strickland got involved, and Ashley, you guys was through. Was Lady the first one? Was she the first dog that you guys kind of partnered up on?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lone Pine Lady. I remember her well. Hunted with her when she's 8 months old. I've told that story several times, so I won't tell it here. But anyway, she impressed me at that young age for sure. And and then John, you were doing quite a bit of winning with Lady. I believe you won. I know you won a truck, and you won the Joy Super.
Couple $100,000.
Couple hundred. Yeah.
Couple $100,000.
That's a pretty good lick.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And the Joy Super Hunt, I particularly enjoyed that one. I watched that. I don't watch a lot of coon hunting videos. I get tired of watching you guys rear ends going walking through the woods, So I have to kind of zip up to get the good parts, when the dogs get called and all that. No, seriously.
We got a chance, Steve, talking about the Joy Super Hunt. So we're in again, and we've won it twice. We've been there twice and won it twice. So nobody's ever won it twice. We got a chance to win that thing 3 times,
Oh, I forgot about that. Doggone. What will they do is it the overlap of the years? So you get in to be in 2 or does,
No, you'll have so you got the PKC World Champion.
Yep.
That's this year. And then the next one will be the
tournament
UKC
champion.
World Champion. No, UKC World Champion. And then the Pro Sport World Champion.
Yeah.
And the AKC World
Oh,
Champion.
that's right. It's a 4-way deal now.
There's 4 dogs and every world hunt that there is, one of them won it. So there'll be we won the first leg is the UK or the PKC World Hunt. We won that, so we in. Which would be pretty cool. We got a chance to win it three times.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I thought you said something about you were retiring her after this.
No, I never said that. I don't believe I ever said that. Never.
Oh.
I'm not Randy Smith. I'm not the famous breeder that tries to run around and make puppy factories. Take these world-class coonhounds and make puppy factories out of them.
That's
I'm
cool.
looking for the future, brother.
Well,
Lord.
Randy, I have a comeback for you there. You know,
Yeah.
that puppy factory generated, what did he say, 200 grams?
A little over 200 grams. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that lady was perking along there, and then I don't know the whole story. You guys can tell me, but somewhere along the line, I know, John, you went backslid a little bit, got back in the blue tick game for a little while. What was that dog's name?
Champ.
Yeah. Well, you an old champ. You were making some noise there.
Yeah, that was a good dog. That was a good dog. There was no doubt about that dog. He's
Yeah.
the right kind.
I got you. All right. Well, everybody knows Rackham Willy, two-time world champion, AKC and UKC. Won the UKC back in 2018, I believe. And so here comes this pup or this dog out of Willy. What's the story? Who wants to start on that one?
Hey, Ashley, go ahead, man. I can't hardly talk.
No, you go. That's your story. You kill that one.
So, lady came in heat, and isn't that when we bred her, Randy?
Must have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Lady come in heat, and
Yeah.
we'd won a bunch with her, and she's getting age on her. It was probably, it was time to breed her naturally, and I had about 3 big hunts booked. That I'd already a 65 and a 4,000 and like a $2,500 entry. And all of a sudden, I don't have a dog. So I was trying to think of somebody I could borrow a dog from. And, it's hard for the caliber of dog I need. And I feel like I want to hunt. It's hard to find. And J.R. Gray and them live, like an hour and a half. And I called him, and I never really hunted with him much. I called him and said, listen, this is the deal. And I need a dog. I need to borrow a dog. And I'll pay you X amount of percentage of my winning, and you ain't got to do nothing but supply a dog. And he said, well, I got 2 over here. I got a Scar baby, and I got Little Ann. And he said, you can pick your choice. You pick. And he said, we're going to Tony Bowman's tonight to hunt. And I said, I'll meet you there. So we went over there, and he said, you're going to like Scar, boy. You turn her loose, she's a barker, and yak everywhere. And she gets that strike, and she did. But at the end of the night, my little book, I keep, Ann was 6 coons and a den, and Scar was 2 coons, a slick, and 2 dens. And I'm like, yeah, that strike didn't mean very much. Load Ann up in my truck.
Yeah.
That's how I got her, And then I started hunting her for them, or borrowed her, and Ashley calls me one day and says, she's pretty accurate. And I'm like, man, I don't think she's made a bad tree. I said, but I got my little app. I keep up with every tree. I said, I've got used to it so much now, I don't even think about how many coons you got her on. I said, let me look. And at that point, she was at 63 in a row.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, she's at 63 in a row. Really? I said, yeah, she going to be able to win? I said, I don't know. And I hung up the phone, and I sit there, and I'm like, dude, you got to get this dog bought. This is not normal, This is not, you don't see this. This is not a great dog that's out there. This ain't,
Yeah.
And I've had some pretty good measures.
Well, you've had some dogs,
Yeah.
and I was going to mention that earlier, but, the hobo dog's no slouch, certainly.
No, he's TOC winner, won, I don't know, what's he won, 200 grand or more?
Yeah, and I think most folks out there have heard of Bad Habit. That was on the India leash at one
Salt Creek
time.
Jenny, ton of mayhem.
Jenny, that's right, yeah, Jerry Mall, female, yeah.
Triple Creek Rat.
Oh, really? You owned
Vogel.
him then, huh? Or hunted
Strickland
him?
Vogel. No, me and Rick owned him, remember?
You and
Me Rick
Vogel owned him
hunted
together.
for-
Okay.
Yeah, Triple Creek Rat. Yeah. So, Wipeout Clayton, I owned him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Swift Creek Lace, I owned her.
Well, Tim won't admit that, Willie.
Yeah, well, me and him on it together.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
him.
In
Oh,
my
Tim.
in my pen one time, they were all young, but I had Triple Kick Rat, Clutch of Mayhem, Ton of Mayhem, Power Pack, the Power Pack, not a Puffball Power Pack, but Power Pack, Late Round Bound, and Eli Stone, and Wipeout Clayton, all at one time was at my house.
Wow.
I'll tell you.
Well, I know the guy that
And I didn't like any of them.
you didn't like any of them. Huh? Wasn't what you were looking for.
No, I like Pack. I did like Power Pack a lot.
Yeah, I'll have to hold my hand up as I'm a big fan of what he produced, and in the I've seen some of it firsthand. But yeah, that's. Well, I had another question that I was going to ask you, but I think I would probably get off subject just a little bit. That's easy for me to do nowadays. Well, okay. So you get this female. I know what it was, and I really want to touch on this a little bit. You are a statistician like nobody else in the coon hunting game. I just went to a 2-year-old thoroughbred sale here in Ocala, and they sold 800 2-year-olds in that sale. One of them went for $1 million. Every kind of stat that you can think of, they keep on those horses. You keep your little book when you're out there in the woods, and don't, and you know, and don't, and this was kind of interesting to me. I think a lot of guys would be ashamed to do that. Say, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's writing down everything. What is he, a rookie? But you've got it all right there. You don't have to worry about it, do you?
No, I don't. I don't have to think about it. I ain't got enough brain to think about a bunch of stuff at one time, so I can look down and I got all my numbers right there. I know what I need to do.
Yeah, I got you. Well, when I looked at the pedigree on Ann, and of course she's out of Rackham Willy, and everybody knows him, and so forth. I didn't know too much about the bottom side of her, but how old was she when you guys got her in your kennel?
She turned 6 last month, so she would have been 4. We got her June the 15th of 24.
Okay. Yeah.
So she was a 4-year-old.
Now, actually, you can jump in here anytime you want, buddy, or Randy, the same. Of course, John's been out there, in the woods with her. How many nights would you take her hunting just to keep her tuned up, John, or is she a dog you can just take to a hunt?
No, I ain't never owned one of them.
You didn't take the bait.
One of them. No, I wish I could find me one, but then I'd be so out of shape that I couldn't get it done anyway, so it wouldn't matter. I don't know. Ashley tracks me. He can tell you. You tell him, Ashley.
I would call John. I would call him. I said, John, don't you think you need to give her a break? He said, I said, you get to ride that side by side. She's not riding a side by side. And I sleep, me and Doug, kind of like on the same schedule. We sleep maybe 4 hours, 3 hours, and we're up,
Yeah.
And we track John, Doug, and me, and we keep up with each other all the time. And I jump up in the middle of the night and John's hunting, I call him. And John has put bootless hours behind this dog, Mr. Steve.
Well, I saw your post, Ashley, and I thought that was really cool. When you talked about the amount of dedication and hard work that goes into something like this. It doesn't just happen then that all of a sudden you find this miracle dog, and every time it seems like every time you set her down, she wins. It doesn't really happen that way, does it?
No, sir.
No.
And And John,
Excuse me.
see, John puts you can, like, John would be in, I could watch him tonight on a Tuesday. He would be in Springfield, Kentucky hunting, and I'd get up next morning. He was 5 hours from Savannah. And people don't understand, Mr. Steve, what separates and, like, he would drive 8 hours just to pleasure hunt, 9 hours, 10 hours to make her a better dog.
It's dedication.
At any state he would go. John didn't just hunt at home. And, you could take Ann to the deepest of the Carolinas, and she treats coons the same way she does at Illinois. She treats them, she's the same dog, and you don't find that every day.
Well, no, a lot of dogs don't travel well. Now, Randy, on some of your winners down over through the years, did you ever have one that really didn't travel well?
Well, if they didn't get to travel too much.
Yeah.
And I did have ones that I've had lots of dogs here that you'd swear that they could never lose, and that's what separates a nice coon dog from a competition dog, and some of them just don't operate the same. When you find one that operates the same, whether they're at home or wherever they are, or if they're in company or whatever, then that's when you come up with that freak. And this one here, she's a super freak. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I kind of track the look at the Pro Hound. I think it's about the only magazine we got left, and there ain't much to it. But looking at these dogs and these male of the year, female of the year, pup of the year, and it's all across the board of what these dogs are out of, and you don't see the same dogs winning every day, but you do see some dogs doing an awful lot of winning. And then it seems like it's come down to most people are recognizing this could just be the best competition dog ever. What do you think that's accurate, or is it? You look to win the TOC, you win the World UKC World, you win the PKC.
I would say she is. I would say she's the best competition dog ever.
Well, she would certainly have my vote just on her record, for sure. What do you guys think?
What do you think, John? What do you think, John? I know you don't want to say it, but I mean,
I don't. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I don't think that she's the best competition dog out there. I don't think that when you say competition dog, I just don't think that kind of sums her up. I think she's one of the best coon dogs out there.
That's what I meant too. But
but what I'm saying, being a competition dog, I know of several I can name off. I feel like is better competition dogs, or should be if they were maybe hunted a little different or done a little different. But I don't. She's not a first strike dog, Steve. She's not a babbler. She hustles. She's a coon. She's a coon dog. She's a joy to hunt during the week. I don't care if you take her to South Florida or Oklahoma. When you cut her, you're gonna get her off a tree and she'll have a coon. And them boys, like when we won the truck hunt, Ashley was there. Won the truck hunt in South Carolina last year. The plan was that the final four was supposed to go to Belle Island, and when it all went down, I was in the final four, so therefore everybody's like, no, and I had killed them. I mean, I like the 3 rounds before that, 2 rounds, they withdrew early, like an hour every night. I mean, I just destroyed them. So everybody's like, no, we not going to Belle Island. We not doing that. So they picked Slater, which is waist deep in cold water in January. And they're like, we're going to put your butt over here. This is where you going. And I'm thinking to myself, you fixing to mess up. You'd be better off at Belle Island. And they wouldn't, and I wasn't doing that to try to win. I was just saying, hey, you got an equal chance to tree coons with me on Belle Island because y'all are hunting pretty good dogs. you take me to that water. Your dog ain't used to that water either. You take me to that water, and she's gonna beat your. But I'm like, we'll go wherever y'all little hearts want to go, and we go over there. And in the first 8 minutes, they're out there tiptoeing on lily pads. These other three, and she has struck this track, drove it across the road 100 feet from us, wham, jammed up an oak tree, and it's over with. This hunt is over. It's done. I've killed them. She has destroyed them on a tree, and she's up there. All you see is her head out of the water, hanging onto a cypress tree with a ricky above her head. And I'm like, yeah, see, that didn't do too good for you boys, did it? You know? So that describes Ann. It don't matter where you go. She's going to go free a coon. And maybe, maybe that has something to do with I take her everywhere. I mean, if I go, I'm taking her, and I'm going to hunt somewhere. And I mean, I cut her behind the Pizza Hut here in town. I mean, yeah, it's actually a Randy. That's how you. I mean, you know.
Well,
like the World Hunt, for example.
Go ahead.
The World Hunt, for example. So I get her in at one of the qualifiers. So I don't have to be there till Friday. Okay. I don't have to be there till Friday. I go out Wednesday, and I take her to where we're going to hunt on Wednesday. I take her out there and hunt her out there in Salem on Wednesday night. Okay.
Yeah.
And I hunt her about 2 hours. Hour and a half. I treat 3 singles. Come back. And Thursday, me and Suzanne go to Applebee's, and we're having a cocktail or two. And I'm like, hey, we gotta go. We'll come back, but we gotta go. And there's 40 cooners. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. I'm like, no. I gotta go. I'll be back. And we got in the camper van. Ann's out on the couch asleep under the air conditioner. And we rode past the Walmart, and I rode through there, and I found 2 guys sitting in a golf cart. And I'm like, stopped. I'm like, hey, guys, what y'all doing? Oh, we just sitting here chewing the fat. I said, y'all own any ground around here? And he said, yeah, I own 300 acres over here, and my daddy's got 100 acres over here. I said, well, I guess y'all know the PKC World Hunt's in. And he said, yeah. And I said, I need a place to cut a dog. I just need to turn one dog loose, one drop. That's all I need to do. If you want me to shoot the coon, I'll kill him. Oh, we want him dead, he says. And he says, you know what? Every year, people come and turn loose on me, and we sit down here every year. That's what we're doing down here because it's almost dark. And when they come up, we tell them, no, you need to go. You ain't turning loose here. We've never had anybody stop and ask us until now. He said, I didn't introduce myself. He said, so Mr. Strickland, you more than welcome to turn loose on my land. And I said, well, I'll pull over here on the ground. He goes, no, pull in my driveway. Ain't nobody leaving. You just pull in my driveway. So I pulled in there. I got the dog out. I cut her. She struck at 148 yards. She treated 210 yards. I let her treat for 15 minutes. She was free in 3 minutes. I let her treat for 15, 18 minutes. So when he shot him out, put her in the truck, went back to Applebee's. Everybody's like, what'd you do? And so I just had to go take care of something. That was it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know, call it extra if you want, call it whatever you want, but I just feel like this particular dog needs that.
Well, you got anything to comment on that, Randy or Ashley?
Well, the way I would describe Ann is Tom Strang used to tell me that when you turned a hard hunting dog loose, it's like they were on the death run, like after a deer's been lunged, and they're just crashing through there she has an uncanny, like she is heart, and you ain't ever going to look at her. But what I've seen is that, any dog that hunts as hard as she does can get out of pocket, but she has a really good way of staying where you can hear her, and she always has a coon. And with that heart, and with her, just she don't care what the crowd's doing. She's going to be buried somewhere in there with a coon. That's her secret to success, in my opinion, from everything I've seen of her. She's got a mouth that carries really, really good, and she just, she'll find a coon in there somewhere and find you another one, and a lot of times 3. When you say, John?
Yeah, that's, she'll go. When I first got her, Alan Gingrich called me and said, man, if you can get that female finishing, you'll win with her. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, she just can't finish, John. They just hadn't, just seems like late rounds, she gets out of pocket or she does this and that. And I started hunting her in a way that it about a mile is as far as I'd let her go. And when she got about a mile, you know, I had it where I could get around on my buggy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would let her go about a mile, and I would get in front of her, and I'd turn her butt around, and I'd send her right back through where she come from. And when she treed them all the way through there, I'd shoot every one she treed through there. She treed 3 back behind where she done been, I'd shoot all 3 of them. And it took better part of a year of doing that during the week over and over and over. And now she'll go about a mile, and when she gets about that mile, I don't know how she knows how far she is. I don't know how that happens, but you watch that Garmin between 0.85 and 1.1, she'll turn and start filtering her way back towards you where she come from in a different track, but, you know, a different, maybe on the other side of the field or the other side of the creek, but back in that direction. And when she does it, she just trees them coons, and you can hear her.
That's what makes it deadly right there.
You know?
In my opinion, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And that's really come a long ways in the last 8 or 9 months. I mean, that's really a big thing that's changed about her. And I mean, she just started doing it. That's about what she does. Almost about a mile, you know, is about as far as she's going. And she's going to start coming back through there, different direction.
Anything to add on that, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, we went, I think, Arkansas, John, Missouri, we went.
Yeah,
Savannah,
we've been Oklahoma.
Everywhere. And, I mean, you know, John's always been phenomenal at take a dog with diamond in a rut and finishing them. You know, Ann's good, but, you know, without John, do I think she'd be where she's at today? Absolutely not. So,
no way.
You know, I got to give John a lot. I mean, John has guys. I'm telling you, people would not believe. I watch him. You know, there's times I just get up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and he's doing so much on this dog. So I got to give John just as much as credit as I do Ann. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's been about a year ago or something, and the guys jumped on it, and it wasn't exactly the way I said it, but they started calling you the GOAT, John, greatest of all time. Well, I had said that I thought you were the greatest competition mind in the sport.
Right.
That's what I said. And I think this all that statement supports what you've just said and what these guys are saying about you, is that, you know, you study this thing. You know, you got a good dog. You know you got a good dog, but you know you can have a better dog. And you find the answers for that particular dog. And I'm not trying to, you know, blow your head up, buddy, but facts are facts. You know, it just, this is for the listeners out there that may be just getting started in the competition game, or coon hunting at all for that matter, is that, you know, you've got to think and you've got to work and you've got to, you know, analyze. You know, we don't want to overanalyze things like a ball player. We say, well, he doesn't try to do too much when he hits the ball. Well, no, but you've got to be a thinking person to be a successful handler in competition. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you need to know what the dog's going to do before she does it. I mean, you need to know these dogs inside. Listen, in the truck, if you go back, we won a truck 2 weeks ago with her in Oklahoma. Okay.
How many is that now?
She's won 3.
Yeah.
She's won 3. But if you go back, that Jude Klesko was on, he's a younger guy. He was on the cast, and he was on the cast when we won the truck with a lady too out there, the same place. He was in that final cast also. So it's the second time me and him's been out there in the final 4 together. And the second tree, I cut her off. She trees this coon, and I cut her off. there, and she just jams up in there about 400 yards from us. Career, and I said, boys, you can listen to it on the video. I said, boys, she's either in a tree or it's some good vines around it. And she's in the middle of all them vines. And when we walked in there, these vines were big around as my leg. The biggest vines I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen vines that big. And she was about 10 foot on this vine. There was two of them, and they made like a little ladder, and she was about 10 foot off the ground on the vine in the tree. and them guys was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, what do you mean? They said, you said she was either in a tree or vines, and she's on vines in the tree. I'm like, well, I told you what
covered them both.
Yeah, she covered them both, and later on after the hunt, Jude called me on my way home, and he's like, how did you know that? I said, dude, I've hunted this dog so much that I can tell you every bark. I can tell you what she's going to do before she does it most of the time, or what she's doing.
Do you know her that well, Ashley?
Oh, pretty good. And I know her this good. She will not perform for me, you, or nobody else. When you put that snap on her, she performs only for John like that. You hear me?
He's got that magic touch. Huh?
John said, nah, she'll hunt for you. I said, nah. Billy Bell found that out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Jacob Benningfield and Jordan Mullins live right here beside me, and they'll hunt her sometimes. I get down or tired or need to take Suzanne out, and I feel like she needs to go. Even if it's just 2 drops, I'll say, hey, take Ann to the sea bottom and drop her twice. You know what I mean? Just clean her lungs out, and they'll take her. And they hunt with me a couple nights a week anyway, so they're around her. They feed her when I'm out of town, And I told Jacob, I said, hey, I'm going to the Bahamas on a cruise with Suzanne, and the National Cup is that weekend. Why don't you take her and go? And his wife normally is like, no, you don't go to coon hunts. We got 2 small kids. His wife's like, yeah, honey. Yeah, we need doors for our side by side. Ann always wins. You take her and go. So he takes her and goes. And the first night, she never made a tree for him. And the second night, she blew out of pocket, got 3 miles, and got scared, and withdrew and run around there to get her because she crossed 3 roads on him.
Oh, boy.
And she was tree beside the road, but that's what she did him in 2 nights. And I didn't think nothing about it, and I'm like, that's just one of her being a pain. And she was laid up for 5 days before, and she wasn't in her groove, she just wanted to be a woman, And then Billy Bell wanted to hunt her at the $100,000 hunt, and he could guide to a real good place back in, the Jarvis Humphreys 100.
Yeah.
And I said, that's fine, Billy. And Billy took her, and she never made a bark. Never made a bark for him.
Dogs can be that way for sure, and I've witnessed that myself down through the years. The dogs
never made a bark.
Just as often as not, if it's a dog gets used to a certain person and stuff, they're not going to do the same.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, okay, man, I don't want to keep you guys too long. We've been at it about 40 minutes here. But such good stuff. I wish I had 4 hours with you guys. But
let me tell you one funny thing before you
absolutely lay it on me, Ashley.
So after the TOC, Johnny and Suzanne does a lot of riding. We talk, and we always tough on John about, John's business about dogs, and everybody knows that. He'll sell anything; it don't matter. And this was after the TOC now, and me and Suzanne had double teamed him on some things, and it was speakerphone, and I said, John, I want to ask you a question. He said, yeah. I said, what does Ann have to do where money can't buy her? You can't let John ask because he ain't gonna tell you the truth. You got to give him a minute and let him think, So he sat there a minute and he got quiet. He said, I ain't thought about it, Ashley. He said, money can't buy her. As soon as he got it out of his mouth, Suzanne says, "Are you telling me if somebody calls tomorrow with $100,000, you telling me?" Well, I want to hear it. He said, "I promise you." 4 days later, we got a phone call from the Texas boys, the oil guys. They offered us $150,000 for her. And John called me. Boy, I said, "Boy, I know that was sour. Your lips had to, you turned that down."
Wow.
And that was after the TOC, and she won 2 world hunts after that, and a truck and a 4-wheeler.
Every one of those, I'd say the price went up, didn't it? Oh man. Well, okay. Here's something I'll throw out there for you, and maybe you don't want to answer this, or you can give me one of your usual well thought out answers. I see on social media people say, "Oh man, they've already got a stud dog pick for her." And I don't know where I'll mention which one it was, but you all know what I'm talking about. Are any thoughts about breeding her?
Man, I seen the most beautiful square nosed black lab down there at Mark Hall's place. And they would make some beautiful puppies. Her and that black lab would really, you know what I mean?
I got you. You're going to start breeding for the plywood instead of the hardwood then, huh?
Yeah, Randy's breeding, man. You talk to Randy about all breedings,
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah. Gosh, man, I tell you that.
But I got some really nice stud dogs here right now. I got Josie Wells, which is Hobo's daddy. I got,
boy.
World champion Goose, Thunderbird Goose.
Black
and I
Goose.
Got national champion Apollo, Power Pack and Easy dog.
You got
there. Matter of fact, I hear Goose barking as we speak.
So now do you have Apollo back or BK? Does BK still own him?
I'm fixing to start a stud dog business, a one-stop shop, and he's one of them that's back there in the pen. I'm getting ready to roll it out.
Well, that's a flash right there. Have you advertised that yet?
Not really. I'm fixing to. I've got it in the works. It's very close. I just don't want to roll it out until we're ready. And we're within a week.
Wow, there you go. That's a flash right here on Gone to the Dogs, folks. I told you ought to be listening to this thing. Well, I'm going to be sliding up to the Northland out of this. We've been having beautiful weather here the last few days in Florida, but it's not going to last. It's going to get hot, and you know all about that. Well, John, you from Savannah, Ashley being from Lumberton. I think the hottest I ever was in my life was at Plot Days in Lumberton, in North Carolina one year. And anyway, I'm going to be sliding up to Katanning, and Randy and he's graciously provided a seat for me to ride out to Walker Days. So I'm looking forward to that this year. Aren't you, bud?
Yeah, that'll be great. Yep. You got going, John?
I booked the Walker Days deal today, Randy, a while ago. They got $1,000 Pro Classic Thursday and $1,000 Pro Classic Friday. I just paid the entries and booked them a little while ago.
Nice.
Good deal. Well, that's at least I'll get to see Ann. I haven't actually seen her in the flesh, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I'll have to get a photo op. Are you going up, Ashley, or that's going to be too much corn picking or planting time?
I'm gonna try to make it to TOC if we get in. In April. That's right now that's what I got set on the calendar to really try to make it to that if we be lucky enough to get qualified.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably a foregone conclusion there, I would think. Well, there was something else I was going to say, But I guess. Oh, they've moved the TOC, haven't they? Is it not going to be in
Yes.
Greencastle this year?
Moved it to Michigan.
Ooh, where up there? Reading?
I don't right outside of Reading, I think, from what I understand.
Oh, okay. How? Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's all good up there. Do you like hunting Michigan, John?
I do. It ain't bad. No, it's good hunting.
Have you hunted up there, Randy? Well, I know you
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Yep.
Ashley, you been up there?
Yeah, I went and hunting with Steve's son, Burkholder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you guys had country, I guess, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I miss that. I had that for 22 years, that awesome coon hunting. I moved down here in the darn swamp. Makes no sense, but women will do that to you, you know. Well, fellas, I tell you what, it's been wonderful. I was going to ask you some questions about. Well, listen, who owned? Was it Jr. that owned her? Is that what you said, John?
Ellis King,
Oh,
which is JR's best friend.
yeah. Okay, I got you.
Ellis King.
And he raised her from a puppy.
No, he bought her. It's funny how many. Ashley Hopkins had her hands on her at one time.
Oh,
Dennis Hensley had his hands on her at one time.
yeah.
JR and Ellis had their hands on her. There's several people, that she kind of went through, and I don't think she struck good enough. Nobody really believed that she could be that big a winner because she just didn't strike good enough,
Yeah. Well,
that's my fault.
I guess they've learned their lesson, maybe.
She struck enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Struck enough.
it comes to mind when I hear you guys talk about Ann is one of those dogs that I think we all wanted all of our lives. And that's a dog that is totally 100% focused on finding a coon to tree when you unsnap her.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
That'd be her.
Yep. And when they get that mindset and nothing else, then, that sure makes a big difference. And then you got to have the ability to tree that coon, too. The ability that goes along with it. But, yeah. Well, fellas, we're almost 50 minutes in, and I know that's probably a pretty good chunk out of your busy day. But, man, it's been great talking to you, all three of you, and just can't congratulate you enough on the amazing accomplishment. John, run down the list here for me of the big wins that Ann's had.
So I kept a book. I don't have it with me. I wish I did. But I totaled it up today. And one of the first ones was a Pro Sport $10,000 win in Olney, or Michigan at Jeff Stallard's. And then we won some money at Olney. And then we won got in at the Randy Morgan hunt. Then we won $32,500 at the $100,000 hunt. We split second and third. Me and Nicky Gale split second and third. So that was 32.5. We won a truck in Kentucky, and then that was in like July. And then we won another truck in South Carolina in like January. And then we won another truck in February, in South Carolina. She won for the TOC. She won the four-wheeler hunt. Then she won the UKC World Hunt. She won TOC, a truck, the UKC World, then a four-wheeler, then got in again at Randy's, Morgan's. Then she got in at Oklahoma, and then she won a truck in February, and then she's won the PKC World Hunt. So, but I totaled up today, she's won $402,088.
$402,000 and what? Say again.
$88. That's what she's won lifetime with everything.
402,000.
$88. So.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty good lick. Now, of
That
course,
ain't
that's
bad, is it?
it ain't bad. And of course, not all that's in BKC, so it won't put her to the top on the all-time money list. But man, it's not
sure
just.
It does.
Pardon?
Sure it does, Steve. Sure it does. It puts her on the top of the all-time money list, all-time money list. Not PKC.
Well,
not
yes,
Pro Sport,
that's
not
what I was going to
UKC.
say. You didn't let me finish.
Yeah.
I was going to say she may not be on the top of the PKC, but she's on top of the all-time, and PKC's not the only game in town anymore.
Right.
You know?
I don't know what Z had or what Crash had. I know they were up there, and I don't think she's past Crash. I don't think. I'd have to call Doyle and ask him. I talked to Ward today, and Tin Cup has won like 360 something thousand. So I don't know what Echo won everywhere, and I don't know what Crash has won, but I think Crash is still ahead of her. I think he's at like 412 or something like that. Everywhere. I need to call him and ask him. I hadn't checked on it, but anyway, she's won a little over, like I said, 402. I mean, that's what that's what she's won.
Well, you could, the guy that wanted to offer 150,000, he would be about 250 or 300 to the good, wouldn't he?
Well, there's more, Steve. There's more to that story. Let me tell you a real quick deal.
Go ahead.
I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not saying any acronyms because people get upset. But a guy before, but the night of the South Carolina truck hunt, I drew a guy, and he said, he was on Bell Island, and he says, and he's got a really good dog. I've been wanting to draw this thing. I got a pretty good dog, John. I want to measure and stick. And I don't know, he treed 1 and she treed 4 or something like that. And he says, would you sell her? And I said, I think we would. And he said, what would it take? And I said, $100,000 in cash, no wires, green money. I said, if you're smart, you'd leave me on her. I said, and if you come up with it today, you'll have part of your money back tomorrow because I'm going to win this truck. And he laughed. And he says, would you sell half of her? I'm like, hell no, I got partners. They greedy. I said, they greedy. I said, no, you forget. I said, listen, the reason I would price the dog is not for the 100,000. It's the fact of having it stacked up in cash at one time, and say I did that. I said, that's the only reason. It wasn't really about the money. So he said, well, I just can't come up with that once. I said, good enough. And we went to the truck. And then 2 weeks before the TOC, another guy that could absolutely write the check calls and says, hey, what would you take for? Have you ever priced her? And I told him the same exact thing. Same thing. And I said, that's what it takes. And he said, wow. And I said, wow, you're getting a lot. You don't even realize what you're going to get. And he goes, let me think about it. And he calls me back. He says, man, I can't swing it. I can, but I can't, in my brain, I can't do that. So good enough. Then, so we went to TOC. He calls that Saturday. And he goes, what's it going to cost me to get my name on the papers? This is Saturday. I'm in the final 3. Get my name on the papers. And I said, more than you could have bought the whole dog for, because we ain't doing that. Now, you Monday, you call me and we'll talk. But before this TOC, I'm thinking to win. Ain't nobody getting their name on the paper except my buddies that's got their name on the papers, period. So we win the TOC. And he calls me and congratulates me. A really good guy, good friend. I said his name. Everybody on here knows him. And he's a good dude, though. And he goes, man, I messed up. And I said, well, whatever. And then 3 weeks before the UKC World Hunt, a guy calls and said, would you take 150, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah. And this is the deal. This is how it would have to be. and he just ghosted. Boom, never heard a word. And the day that we're in the final of the UKC World Hunt, he says, that deal's still good. I said, absolutely not, buddy. You're not getting in this late. And he goes, well, okay. And then let's see, today is Sunday. So last Sunday, Friday before last, I get a call. Would you guys consider selling and hunting her for me? You keep her, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yep, this is the deal. And we keep her and blah, blah, blah. And they kind of they said, okay, we think we want to do it. We got to have a meeting, but we're going to do it. And then they just, nope, nothing. And then when it got close, I'm like, so then we win another one. So before the TOC, I want somebody to please call and try to buy this dog, okay? Because it really does. Every time somebody's done it, we've won the whole thing. Every time. You know.
Well, it's a phenomenal story, and I don't think, of course, anything can happen at any time. It's kind of like the NFL, I guess. But I don't think there's ever been one like her, and I don't think there ever will be another one like her. I hope that there will, because that would indicate maybe that we're breeding better dogs and we're doing better. But it's just been phenomenal what she's been able to accomplish. My buddy he hunts with Tim Kramer some down there, and you know him, John, Andy Green.
Yeah.
Andy called me and he said, who you like in the final? I said, what? Are you on drugs? I said, you know who's going to win that thing. And, man, the first thing I did when I got up Sunday morning, I keep my phone in my office in here on the cradle. I come in and picked it up. I said, pop, there it is. So really, I want to congratulate you guys. It's just been an awesome run, and it looks like no plans to slow down, huh, John? Pedal to the metal?
Steve, I don't think, man, I know it seems like this dog is hunted and hauled all over, but she's really not. I mean, this dog gets a lot of breaks. Like for example, me and Suzanne are leaving tomorrow. We're going to Texas to the stockyards till Sunday, and she'll sit in the pen, and be taken care of, and she won't get hunted. I mean, so so I don't have anywhere this weekend, and then the following weekend, we're not going anywhere, but we do have the little thing here at the house, and so it seems like she's been hauled, but she's really not been hauled that much. The one thing I hadn't kept up with her is the winning percentage. That probably would be scary, the winning percentage amount according to the amount she's been hauled. And a lot of times when I go, it's like Ashley said, I might be gone. Me and her might be on the road, but it's not necessarily at a hunt. It might be going hunting in Georgia, or going hunting in Mississippi. Just I think it's got to stay fun for her too. And a hunt ain't always fun. So I think you got to kind of keep it fun for them too.
Yeah, well, I can see that. Well, you mentioned there about what you wish you'd kept track of the percentage. And these horses, they have what they call equa something. It's online. You can go in there and click on any thoroughbred horse you can imagine. You get all the dope on them, the pedigree, everything. Yeah. You probably, maybe you've dabbled a little in that or not. But yeah, I wish we had more of that kind of a database for these coon dogs. I realize that we're not on the thoroughbred horse level in terms of money, but hey, 20 years ago, who would have thought somebody'd offer somebody $150,000 for a coon dog? You'd say, yeah. What do you think about all this, Randy?
Well, that sounds like a lot of money to me.
You'd be
Women
tempted,
and
would you?
Offers and oh my goodness, yeah. Well, I wouldn't sell her either.
You know what, Steve? That's how me and Randy got involved. Is that right there, trying to buy his dog?
Yeah. Yeah.
More amount of money to buy my dog. So I don't want to hear about that. Sounds a lot of money. I'll never forget about that. Don't you forget, John Strickland, no amount of money can buy my dog. And I'm like,
Don't be calling bullying me around with your wallet.
Yeah. That's what he said to me. I didn't even know him, Steve. I thought he's the biggest jerk that's ever lived. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, he is from Pennsylvania, you know. I mean, they're up north.
I won't sell her to you. I'll give her to you.
And then, listen, Steve, I'm like getting red I'm on speakerphone. Suzanne's beside me. I'm getting red in the face. I'm like getting ready to say, hey, you can blah, 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 you know. And I pause, and he says, but. And when he said but, I'm like, all right, I need to shut up for a minute. I'll give you half of her. I'm like, all right, now I'm interested. I don't know where we're going with this. You know what I mean?
The complexion changed all of a sudden.
Come again and tell me how that would work. I said, I'll send her to you next week.
Yeah, I'll give you half of her. And I'm like, all right, I'm listening. What do you want, you know? But I can tell you one thing. Let me tell you something, buddy. There's very few men in my life, and this is going to sound however you want to take it. You take it to the listeners out there, but it is what it is. There's very few men in my life that has said to me multiple times, hey, I love you, and don't you forget it. Very few that I thought was sincere. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
No man says that typically anyway, but that man says multiple times, hey, I love you, or love you guys, and he means it. And that right there, you know what I mean? That you can't buy that. You can't train it. You can't find it.
No.
That finds you. And for that reason right there, buddy, Randy Smith is, I don't care who don't like Randy Smith. He's my dog.
Well, I'm right in there with you, John.
And Ashley's the same way. There's no difference there. And Doug's the same way. Listen, that's three people right there that have grown very, very successful alpha males. And every one of them men has said to me at one time or another, hey, brother, I love you. And that don't come out of them people's mouth. Very, very seldom. No. I mean, you don't get that out of them dudes' mouth about many people. And for that, I am so thankful. And people ask me all the time, hey, why is all them names on that dog? Or, you know, why y'all all on that dog? Who all does it? And, you know, John, you do all the hunting. I'm like, listen to me. You have no clue what them guys do and what they don't do. So until you do, don't even talk to me. You know what I mean? I don't even want to hear it. It ain't even, you can't understand. I can't tell you because you wouldn't understand if I told you.
Well, you know, that I can certainly echo that. My experience with Randy, it's been nothing but over the top family experience, you know, and I look so forward to going up there each year. I can't get him down here though. I don't know. He keeps saying I'm going to take Carrie for, and I don't.
I'll come down, Steve, if you invite me to go lobster catching, but I ain't bringing no
lobster catching. Now, I don't know anything about that, but I'll check into it.
I do.
You do. I bet you do. You bought a new boat not too long ago. What was it, a year or two ago?
I've always had a new boat my whole life.
Oh, a new one. Yeah.
Always trade boats. They got a boat. I'm a boat queer.
Well, you talk about being blessed, and I certainly am, because I certainly, went from being a little coon club secretary in the hills of West Virginia. We didn't even have UKC hunts. Didn't know how to do it. To being able to sit down here with you guys and talk about this phenomenal dog and all. And God has been so good to me, to bless me with great friends. And I consider each one of you in that category. And I just thank you so much for coming on today. And is there anything that anybody, Ashley, Randy, John, you guys have to say that before we go?
Yeah, it's been an honor, fellas.
I just love the partnership and love these guys to death, and it's been a road that's had a lot of joy in it, you know.
Well, that is absolutely awesome. God is good all the time. And, you know, I know that this is not the end of the story on Little Ann. I think she's got a lot more to write in the books. And I'm going to be watching every step of the way. And I want to thank once again my good long-time friends, John Strickland, Randy Smith, and Ashley Oxendine. And say hello to Buddy for me, Ashley, would you?
All right, Miss Steve, I sure will.
Hey, your dad, he's just such a great fella. With that, folks, we're going to conclude our podcast for this week. One more time, we want to congratulate John Strickland, Ashley Oxendine, Doug Galbraith, and Randy Smith for their big winning Treeing Walker female, Willy's Little Ann, who just won the 2026 PKC World Championship. We really thank those fellows for coming in and sharing their Ann's story with us. Ann was sired by Gray's Rackham Willy, and out of Wipeout, she squirms a lot. She was bred by Nicholas Jones. She won the World Championship on March 21st of 26 in Salem, Illinois. With that, we'll urge you to check out dusupply.com for anything that you need for your hounds or for yourself in relation to this hound game. Also, markzepp.com. Big Mark Zepp will provide quality products and also the very best of service for you. So give Mark a shout there at markzepp.com. That's going to do it for this week, folks. This is Steve Fielder saying, if you're looking for me, I'm gone to the dogs.